Hello everybody, it is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and tonight we are talking all about the 100th day of school and 100th day of school activities. So thanks for coming, thanks for watching. So links to all the things. So I have a couple fun freebies for you guys. Now all the other printables I'm going to show you are in my Counting to 100 unit pack. But I'm going to show you a ton of activities that you don't even need printables for too. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. And tell me in the comments, do you do 100 days of school, or do you do like 101 days of school? And what is your favorite 100th day of school activity that you do? So first, let me show you the fun freebies I have. So I have this. It's a super simple printable, so you can kind of do whatever you want with it. So my favorite thing to do is to put out a bunch of strips. These are literally like scraps from projects when I cut things out, and literally just have the kids cut small pieces, and then they can just glue them on there like confetti. You can also have them do dot markers on there. Basically, they could use it as a coloring page. But again, my favorite is to use, make it like a little cutting collage. So this will be coming to you guys. So that's kind of a fun little thing you can do anytime during the day. And it's great fine motor and scissor skills if you use it as a cutting activity. And then the other fun freebie I have is this. You can do it two ways. So it's one, we know our students love hole punches, right? So I have, it's going to be like 100 holes. So you'll give each kiddo one of these pages, and then what they're gonna do is we're gonna make it together. They're gonna cut on the line. So they'll cut on the line, which is again another great scissor skill activity. If this is too hard for your kiddos, then you can give them bouncy scissors, which are these. They bounce back open. They have a little spring in them. So these are great. Especially too, maybe they're cutting and their hand gets tired. Those are great. And if your kiddos can do this, they can do all of these. Now what they're going to do is they're going to take a hole punch, and they are going to hole punch on all of the spots. Now there's 100 of that. So there's 10 on each one. I have this two ways, so it's kind of for two different levels. This one just has 10 on each one. The other printable has it in order, so 10, 20, 30, counting by tens. So you can either just let them hole punch all of these, and then I have covers. So you'll give each kiddo a cover, and what they'll do is after they've punched all the holes, they'll put it together, and we're just gonna pretend I did all of them. And then they can staple it, and then they have a book of 100 holes. So super fun. So that's one way you could do it. And again, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, like my kindergarten friends or even first grade, they could do it to where they have to hole punch all the holes, cut it out, hole punch all the holes, and then they have to put the book in order to 100. And then the other option I have, it's 100 dots. So maybe they don't have enough hand strength, maybe don't have enough hole punches, or you could do both of these. And what they're gonna do is they are going to dot all of these, probably in a different color, in the same color, whatever they wanna do. And again, I have both options for this one. So counting by tens, or just 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, because 10 tens make 100, and then they're gonna cut this one out. And we're just gonna pretend I cut all of it out for time's sake. And then they have a book of 100 dots. It's a really fun little thing to take home to celebrate the 100th day of school. And again, it's super simple. Kids love hole punches, and then they can also do one with dots too. Or you could do stickers, or they could Q-tip paint, whatever you wanted to do. So again, I will use the link to sign up, and I will send this to you guys, this fun freebie, via email. So that's one fun thing you can do. Now, those are two fun activities. But if you want to do other things like build with things, build with 100 things, which is, I think, like a tried and true 100th day of school activity, is just building with 100 items, right? But what you want to do, you don't want to have to count out 100 things like the night before, right? It'll take you a while. So have your students help you, and they will be practicing their counting. Now, obviously, if you have 3-year-olds, they are not going to be able to count to 100, but they might be able to count to 10, or with your help, they could count to 10. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to make kind of like a giant counting board. So it says 100. This is just a piece of butcher paper. You could also use like big easel paper, and I just have 10 dots. Now, if you want to, where's my marker? You can writing upside down for you guys, 10 in each one, so that way they know 10 has to go in each spot. So 10, 10, 10. Now, you're gonna have probably however many things you're gonna build with. Have that many around the classroom. Get out of here, confetti. So maybe you're gonna build with 100 Legos. So put the tub of Legos out on this one, and then students just have to put 10 in each circle. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, so then it'll all be filled up, right? So you can do Legos. You can also do pattern blocks. And any kind of like counters you want to do to make collections of 100. These are the button, like stackable counters. Again, anything that you have 100 of, you can do this for. You could also do 100 mini erasers. But obviously you wouldn't need this big of a sheet for the small things. So maybe cut it in half and do it smaller. You could also do chains. You could also do like cube blocks. And again, literally take this, put it on the mat and put it out. And then once they've counted to 100, take the box of extras away and then put the 100 items in another bucket. And then you can use this later, and like later in the afternoon or the morning, you can say, okay, we're gonna take our collections of 100 in each group or each pair of students or trio, whatever, how you're gonna group them. They're gonna build with 100 things. So you can also do, these are my stem drawers. I just rolled them over here. You can also pull things out. These cups are at the Dollar Tree. They come in a 20 pack. So you could do 100 of those cups. You could also do 100, I have animals in here right now, 100 like popsicle sticks, because they could build with those. Any loose parts you have, put those out. Woo, rolling away. And they can build with 100 of those. This one would be really fun. These are those like brain flakes. So they could put this out there, literally put it right there, and then they would count out 100 of them. And then you could have the collections to build with again later in the day. Or maybe you're gonna do this for like the morning, like arrival activity to get them up, moving and learning and doing. And then you're gonna say, okay, you're gonna take all the extra baskets, put those away, have the students put the collections of 100 in another bucket and say, okay, find something you wanna build with, and then that group can then build with that many, or that set of 100 objects. So yeah, so super fun. And I know you're thinking, students can't build with mini erasers. Well, they wouldn't be building like in the traditional sense, but obviously I'm not gonna count out 100. They would be building, maybe they're gonna create a design on the table, right? Maybe they're gonna make a really cool like spiral or some really awesome design. Maybe they're going, you don't know what they're gonna do. They will surprise you with all of these really cool things that they might build with something small and you think not super exciting, but they may love it, okay? So don't think that just because you don't have 100 like big building blocks that you can't have them build with collections of 100, because again, this is just like building with loose parts. So they can build something really cool. It's more of making a really intricate design. And again, 3-year-olds can do this, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, kindergarten, 1st grade. They will love it. It doesn't always have to be traditional building materials. So you're gonna count out collections to 100 on the butcher paper, and then they're gonna build with them. So that's one thing. They're gonna make the 100 dots and 100 holes book. You have the 100 days of school collage. And then here's some fun books you can read. I actually have an entire book list on my blog. These are my favorites though. 100 Animals on Parade. I love it. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So cool. I love this one. Let's Count to 100. That's another good one that I love. It's the same author, but look how vibrant and gorgeous these illustrations are. And again, this is just a whole bunch of collections of 100. So they can kind of visually see how many 100 is. And then 100 Days of School. And this one is really fun too. It's also available in 100 cats, but this one's 100 dogs. And it just has a whole bunch of different dogs in the book. So that's really fun too. And then this book isn't really counting to 100, but it's I Know Numbers. And it just talks about all the places numbers are in our world. So they're on a clock, they're on a calendar, an alarm clock, they're on a scale, on a thermometer, telephones, old school telephones or your cell phone, maybe buttons on a TV or an appliance, signs in a store. So even though this isn't a counting to 100 book, I still love this because numbers are all around us, and it's a really fun way to show students that how important numbers are, and that numbers are everywhere, and they're just some fun ways that we can use numbers in our everyday life. So let's get into some more activities you can do for counting to 100. So it's winter usually when we do counting to 100. So another thing you could do is do smaller butcher paper activities. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put out 10 dot markers, different colors. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know where my regular green is, but we'll use brown. So they can you can make little sets of mittens. You can have students work in pairs for this one. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna count 10 of each color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, as you can see, they take up a little bit of space. So are they gonna overlap? Yes, but it's gonna be gorgeous when they overlap. You can also do this with stickers, but again, dot markers work great. Or you can also, anything, you can personalize it for each student too. I'm not the best artist, as you can see, but the students don't care. So maybe you could have a whole bunch of, like, you can do it on big construction paper too, or even if you wanted to, you could have students draw a picture of something. Like they could draw a big smiley face or a big cookie or a big ice cream cone. They could draw anything, or again, you could, and then dot 100 on it. You don't always have to have a printable for these things. I mean, it might take you a hot minute, maybe like what, 5-10 minutes to draw, 10 or however many kids you have, 15, 18, 24 things. Or again, you could put the dot markers out and have students draw something. And then they can dot to 100 with the dot markers. And the reason why I say do a different color for each one, it'll be easier for them to count because they're gonna lose track, right? Most kiddos probably can't count to 100 yet, or maybe that skill is almost there if they're in kindergarten. But if you do 10 colors and they just count to 10, most students will be able to do it independently. And then they'll also be able to visually see if they did that color or not. So then that's how they'll have 100. So again, just a super fun activity. Again, you can do it on just like easel or big construction paper too. I just had this already drawn from something, so I was like, oh, we'll use that. And again, use what you have, right? So there's that activity. Oh, I have another pile over here I wanted to show you. So here's some other things that you can build with 200. I was going to show you this earlier, but I forgot. So these are translucent letter builders. Now, I know you're thinking these are to build letters. You don't always have to do the intended, you don't always have to use the materials the intended purpose. So they could count out, you know, however many of these. And then they can build with them and make fun things. They don't always have to make letters. And if you have a new manipulative out, it's always really fun and a good idea to let students explore with the manipulative before you use it for a small group, because they're going to be really excited about the new thing to play with. So if you have some new manipulatives or something you haven't gotten out this year, put that out for 100th day so they just have time to explore that manipulative. You can also do pool noodles. I have a whole bunch of these. You can probably get what, like 30 per, buy like 4 pool noodles at the Dollar Tree. And usually they have them all year long, which is kind of odd. But they can stack with them. They could lace them. This one I have that's for lacing. So they could lace, make 100, like a giant 100th day necklace with these pool noodles. So you could also build with pool noodles. So, sorry, I forgot to tell you about those because they were on the other side of me. So here are some printable games that you could do. So in my counting to 100 pack, I have some fun, here's my green, fun printables. This one is just race to 100 where students roll the dice, 2, and then they dot that many, 1, 1, 2. And then they roll again, and then they would use the next color. So use a race to 100 game. And I have a lot of, if you don't have my counting to 100 set, see what race to 100 games you have in your like pile of stuff, right? And then use those games. You could also do a number hunt. So in my counting to 100 pack, I have number cards to 100. So you could literally hide them all over the room, or you can give every student like 15 and say, okay, everybody put the numbers all over the classroom. And you know, you can say not, you know, just not by the sink or whatever it is, because they'll get wet. And then say, okay, we hid them all over the classroom. Or you could hide them while they're at lunch or specials or they're at recess and say, I hid 100 numbers. Now it's your turn to be the number detective and you have to find them. So you can do the same a couple different ways, and you can do it based on, make modifications on it based on the ability of your students in your classroom. They can literally just find all the numbers and identify them if they're able to. Obviously, a 3-year-old is not going to know that this is 24. But I printed these off and they're color coded. So all the 20s are green. And maybe if you have like a pre-K class, you could say, okay, I was hearing the number, bring it to me. And then we're going to find it on, and you can do one for the class. You can have everybody do their own. Up to you. And say, okay, we found, and have everybody collect the numbers, or you could have this literally on like your circle time chart and say, okay, every time somebody brings me up a number, as you find one, come bring it to me and I will mark it off. And so somebody would go, oh my gosh, I have, and you can say 23. Can you find it? It's a 2 and a 3. There it is. It's right there, 23. And then the next friend's going to come, oh, I have 24. Or this is number 24, you can tell them. And then another friend comes up, I have 35. And you can mark it off. So a really fun way for them to be number detectives. And again, if they don't know the numbers, that's okay. You can say, bring me the number and I will tell you what it is, and then have them mark it off on the chart. Another really fun game. You could also make 100th day crowns. This is in my 100th day of school, or counting to 100 pack. They color the front, and then the back of it has counting by 10s to 100, which is really fun. And I know this is like another tried and true game that everybody does. So this is where you send a note home with a baggie, and you say, please bring in 100 items. Now, you probably are gonna have to know your classroom and know your families. If your family, if you don't get a lot of family participation, I would say don't do this activity, because if a lot of kids aren't gonna do it, then like they're gonna feel left out, and maybe families are busy. Every family, especially right now, is having struggles. So if you don't have a lot of family involvement, that's okay. Don't do this activity. But if you do have pretty good family involvement, they can do it, or make baggies of 100. And then if you on your note, this one's in the printable pack, but if you send it home in an email, give them ideas on what they can do that's easy, like beads, crayons, band-aids, paper clips, cupcake liners, pom-poms, small rocks, straws, craft stick, coins, and then you can make sure it comes back to the family. That way, if it's 100 Q-tips, you can make sure it gets back home to them. And you can make a bulletin board with all of their 100 things. Oh, one thing I do when I send this note home, I also send home a counting helper, because it's at night. The kids are tired, parents are tired, members are tired, whoever is helping them. Count 100 things for the classroom wall. Help the families and your kiddos, and send it home like this. So that way they have the counting helper, the bag, and the note, because otherwise the families may end up counting to 100, or it's a struggle, or it's an argument. And we don't want to stress families out with anything. So send home a counting helper, so that way students can put the items on the counting, in the 10 frames, and then they can help count, and it's not as stressful for families. We don't want to stress them out any more than they already are, right? Also, and again, this is another tried and true, a counting to 100 necklace. So take a counting to 100 10 frame, give everybody some cereal, and then obviously make sure you sanitize your desks, or sanitize and make sure they wash their hands before you do this, because you know they're gonna eat some of them. So we wanna make sure everybody's clean and they stay healthy. So they put all their Fruit Loops or whatever cereal. I typically use cereal because it's cheap. And Cheerios are great because Cheerios are gluten-free. Some of them, make sure you check for allergies. So if you have allergies, Cheerios are usually a pretty good bet, unless it's a nut allergy, then you gotta find something else. But again, just check on the allergy friends to make sure they can do the activity, and the activity is safe for them to be around in the classroom. And then give each kiddo some Cheerios, and they put them on their board, and then they string them into this necklace. Now, some kiddos will do this very, very fast, and some kiddos, this will take a while. Some kiddos may need a break because their hands may get tired, because this is a lot for someone who doesn't have the strongest fine motor muscles. So just know that some students may need to come back to this when their hand has had some time to rest. So make sure you give everybody a bowl, so that way they can put this in a bowl if they need to come back and finish it later. Because again, we don't want kids stressed. If they need a break from lacing and counting, it's okay. Just give them a break, and then they can come back and finish it later when you have time. Another thing you can do is the snacks. 200, you can send home a parent note and ask families to send in treats, making sure they're allergy aware. And they can do, honestly, if families are struggling, say just find a cereal. Because you can do like cocoa, like the cocoa cereal. What are these? Apple Jacks. These are like the berries. They can do goldfish. And then what they'll do is students will put 10 of each snack on their page. And then that is their snack for the day. That is their 100th day of school snack. They have 100 little yummy little things for their snack. Now, if you don't want to do food in your classroom, don't. Skip those. Totally fine. Or use stickers. So I know a lot of us love stickers. Kids love stickers. So make a 100th day of school sticker collage. Now, I have just a whole bunch of stickers. You can tell some of these are half gone. So if you have a whole bunch of stickers where they're like missing pieces, put them out on a tray and have students fill in their 100th day of school sticker collage. And stickers are great fine motor. Now, if your students struggle with stickers, if you follow me, you know my trick. But what you do, and this doesn't work on all stickers, but it works on most. Pull off the back. And then, oops, this goes in the trash. And then, watch. Oh, it's on my finger. Hold on, sorry. So what students can do, you can show them how to move the paper in the back and then peel it off, okay? Because not all students know how to use stickers, especially if they're very active kiddos. Like you can see this one doesn't have the back on it. And again, you can use literally just a whole bunch of like random stickers you have. This one, I have pulled the backing off of it too. Just put it out and then they can do 100 stickers. If you don't have fancy stickers, that's okay. Just use dot stickers, that works too. So, sticker collage. Now, if you don't have stickers and you don't want to do stickers, I have another option for you. So you can do, let me put this all over, hold on. You can do a counting to 100, like with Q-tips and paint. So what they're gonna do, these little trays are from Amazon. So they're gonna do is they're gonna put their Q-tip in and they are going to do 10 in each one. So if you don't have a ton of stickers, no worries, just do paint. And then they can count out and have a 100 collage. But this one will be paint. Now, could you do this activity and this activity? 100%, do both. Do you know your kids? Pick out the activities that you want them to do, that you think they'll love. So that's great. And this is also really great fine motor. You could also do a 100 thing collage. So this one, oops, sorry. It looks like this. And then they literally just glue the stuff on there. Now, you're probably thinking, I don't have 100 things they can collage. I got you. What you can do is you can cut up things that you already have. So this is just some ribbon I have and I cut it up into small pieces. I found these sequins in my art cabinet. I found some dot stickers. I have some random little foam shape stickers. This is literally cut up tissue paper. And look, you guys, it's not even. I literally buy like a chunk from Target and then I cut it up and put it in my art cabinet. Like, I literally just went like this. Put it in there. So it doesn't have to be like the perfect store-bought pre-cut squares. Like, just cut it up as a big chunk. Here's a whole bunch of eyeballs. Kids love eyeballs, or googly eyes. So again, just look in your art cabinet. These are some like those like matchstick pieces. You could cut up Q-tips in half. That would work too. They could glue those on. And again, so use whatever you have in your classroom and they can make a collage. Now they can also crumble up the tissue paper to make it fit. Whatever they want to do. If they want to do all tissue paper, that's fine. Whatever makes their heart happy, right? Okay. So, oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. So on this one, you could also do, if I forgot to tell you guys this, so you could also do fingerprints. So you could put out, oh, as I dump all my paint, you could put out an ink pad and they could do 100 fingerprints on here too, which would be really, really fun. And again, great fine motor. As they're pressing, they're having to build up that wrist strength. So that's really good. Fingerprints is really, really a great activity for little learners. So those are my 100th day of school activities. Oh, the last one. Okay, almost forgot. So after after everybody has counted out all these things, like let's say, you know, everybody built all their stuff and they helped you count everything out. What you can do is you can have kiddos work in pairs or work in groups depending on how many of these you have, and they can make a giant 100th day of school collage. So they could do like 10 dots in this one. Oh, why do I pick the ones that don't work every time, right? So they could do like 10 dots. And then what I usually do is I literally just go to my art center and be like, okay, and then, you know, they can put out some little bucket or little cups, and they can grab a little cupful and then glue it on and then put it back in the bin. Just have all the bins of stuff out on the table. I also have cut up shapes. These are shapes that we have had extra. A lot of these I hand cut randomly. And kids love these. So they could put 10 shapes in. They could do popsicle sticks. They could do pom-poms. I also have a tub of letters. They could do 10 letters in one. I also have paper punches, so they could, of course it sticks, punch 10 things, and they could put it on there. They could cut up pieces of tape. I can't reach it, but it's over there. Oh, here. Oh, yeah, I got it. I got it. So they could pull, because kids love tape, right? So they could, obviously the kids are probably gonna cut it, but they would just cut it with scissors, but we're gonna pretend I'm cutting with scissors. So they could put 10 pieces of tape. You could do Post-its. They could put 10 Post-its on here. They could do 10 collage strips. Okay, my stuff is combining. Okay, and then you could hang these in the hallway. And now, one, you didn't waste the piece of paper. And two, how much fun would it be to have like 5 of these or 8, 10 of these, however many, just hanging in your hallway. And now everyone will know that it is the 100th day of school. Like, how much fun would that be? So much fun. So, tons of fun ideas. I like to reuse things so that way it's not like a one and done. Or you could also, if you didn't want to use these as a collage, you could literally fold them up and then put them in your posters pile and use it again next year. All right, so I hope you guys loved all of my 100th day of school activities. If you have other ones in the comments, I hope you'll read through those because you guys have great ideas also, so I can't wait to hear what you guys are doing in your classrooms. But again, all the printables are in my Counting to 100 unit in my TBT store. And then the 100 dots and the 100 holes, I will send it to you via email, so make sure you sign up with that link at the top. So yeah, so I hope you guys have an awesome 100th day of school. Oh, one thing really quick. I was in a Facebook group, and I saw a parent, she was a teacher too, commenting about, you know how sometimes people dress up old for the 100th day of school, and you know how sometimes people have walkers. If you have a child in your school that has a walker, or maybe somebody's grandparent has a walker, a walker isn't necessarily a prop you would want to use to dress up with on the 100th day of school, because people use that every day as a means to help them with mobility and help them get around. So I just want to throw that out there, that if you do dress up for 100 days of school as you're 100 years old, which is a really fun idea, I love that idea, just I would also add, like, please, out of the respect for others, we will not be using walkers or canes as a prop, because that is someone's means for mobility, and it's not something we want to act out. So just a thought. just a little thought I had. I saw a mom say, like, my daughter uses this every day, and it's hard for her because when kiddos are little and they have to use walkers, like, it's hard for them. It's a struggle, and it's a lot of work, and it's hard on their bodies. It helps them get around, but at the same time, it's hard, right? So we just want to be accepting and loving of everyone. And I never thought of that point of view until I read that mom's perspective. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know you guys are the sweetest and so caring, and I just wanted to share that perspective with you. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, whatever it is that when you're watching, and I will talk to you guys soon.